Good evening. Welcome to tonight's episode of your favorite family law conversation series, Late Night Intercourse with Choma. You're welcome. If you're joining us from Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, and wherever it is you're joining us from tonight, Twitter, thank you very much for making it a date with us. It's always a pleasure to have this intercourse with you, because I believe that if we are well informed, we will do right. Our choices will be better, our mistakes fewer, and of course, our marriages and our families will thrive just as we thrive. So this is intended to enlighten us, have a discourse on some of the issues that plague families and marriages. So tonight, we will be discussing 5 lessons from the, viral feud between Harrysong and his wife. The leaked feud between the both of them. We'll be discussing 5 lessons from, that, call it a quarrel, call it whatever you want to call it, between the both of them, which has gone viral on social media. And of course, your host will be my humble self, Choma Onyenucheya Uko, the Zest family lawyer. So once again, thank you for making it a date with me tonight. So background for those who haven't heard. Of course, you know Harrysong. You know he's a popular singer. He's a popular music artist. And the news on social media was that he had some quarrels, with his wife. And I suppose the wife leaked that quarrel to the press, to a blogger. And she leaked it via the conversation, the text chats, the chats between the both of them, the chats between the husband and the wife. The wife leaked it, or shared it. Okay, let me not say leaked. The wife shared it with the blogger, and then it went viral. And everybody, most people have jumped on it, lending their 2 pence, condemning what they think is condemnable, and throwing about all sorts of advice based on their different perspectives. And of course, as my people will say, we have well, I call it a proverb now. In my place, I'm Igbo. It was said that the tortoise was asked, how many times will something happen to him before he learns a lesson? And he said, many animals said 10 times, 16 times, 12 times, and all of those. But the tortoise said, nah, he won't even let it happen to him once before he takes a lesson. That he will take a lesson from the things that has happened to others, so that he will guard against the negative things happening to him. So what we're trying to do tonight is to take lessons from some of the things we observed from that unfortunate feud. So, like I said, we're discussing 5 lessons from the feud between Harrysong and his wife, which went viral on social media. Now, the first lesson I think it's important to take from that is it is unsafe. It is not right. It is not proper to take advice, to seek counsel from just about anybody. That is risky. So I think it's important we learn that we should seek advice, we should seek counsel, we should seek, direction, guidance from professionals, from persons who are seasoned on a subject, on a matter. Just the same way you will, consult experts in any business niche, in any other important venture, same applies even in your marital and family affairs. Yes, sometimes people who have been in the marriage institution, who have been married, who have gained experience from their long, stay in marriage, may lend you one or two advice. People whose fingers have also been burnt in the marriage institution may also lend you an advice or two. People who have also observed their parents, their siblings, their friends, and seen the mistakes and the positives may also give you one or two advice. But the best person who is suited to give you an advice that is not tainted by any bias, that is professional, that is dispassionate, is a professional. They will be able to customize your advice to suit your circumstances. There is no one size fit all when it comes to marital issues. There is no one size fits all in family matters. Every advice must be hinged on the strengths, on the peculiarities of the facts of the parties. There is no uniform advice for everybody. Yes, we can say things like, say no to domestic violence, treat your spouse with respect and dignity. Okay, well, but those are not advice that are specific to marriage. It applies across board. So if you're going to seek counsel, coming to social media, posting your dirty linen in social media does not solve the problem. Instead, it may actually inflame things the more. It may, push that quarrel to bounds you didn't imagine initially. It will bring you and your spouse to ridicule. Don't do that. Even sharing some things with your family members, with your friends, just be careful, be careful, be careful. Sometimes the people who love you will overdo. From their place of love, they will go beyond bounds. So please, I think the first lesson to take from that unfortunate incident is that we should ensure that we seek guidance, counsel, direction, advice from professionals. If you need to see a therapist, by all means do that. If you need to consult a marriage coach, please do already. If you need to see a family lawyer, come on, it's in your best interest. But please, don't go, talking to every Dick, Tom, and Harry about your issues. They may not give you dispassionate, sound, credible, customized advice. And if you just cut and paste advice from somebody else's circumstances and apply to yours, sorry, the issues may get worse instead of getting better. Number 2, please. Can we be careful? Can we be sensitive in our communications? Sometimes you may be in the right. Sometimes your position is justified. Sometimes you are saying the truth. But if you do not say it, intelligently, if you don't say it with decorum, if you don't say it responsibly and reasonably, you may be shooting yourself in the foot. You may turn around to become the villain instead of being the victim. If any of you read the chats that were purported to have been exchanged between the parties, some of the things the husband said to the wife were unnecessary. Some of them were unkind. Some of them were you know, they sounded abusive. Granted that if you also read between the lines, it appeared to, you know, there appeared to have been some provocation from the comments of the wife, which is also not sensible. If you're going to discuss any matter with your spouse, and just about anybody else, because some of these things apply even in other life relationships, can you please stay on the subject? Can you please focus on the issue at hand? If you narrow, if you isolate the subject, you are better able to, you know, communicate reasonably and responsibly. You don't go lumping things together and talking about just about anything. The husband says, don't take my grandmother with you. Then the wife talks about girlfriends. Was that a necessary response to that comment? Though the comment in itself was also unnecessary, but a wiser response would have been specific to the comment made. And then, of course, in response to that provocative comment, you hear something like, yes, my girlfriends are better than you. They are more beautiful. They are blah, blah, blah. Come on. Documented conversation between a couple. That's most unreasonable. If you are going to have a conversation, please, emotional intelligence directs that you be calm. Don't speak in anger. Don't speak when you're not in full control of your senses or your emotions or your, you know, be slow to speech at such times. And particularly if you are going to document it. If it's something you're going to write, that's something that can be, you know, it will be there for posterity for all time. Anybody can revive it or retrieve it at any point. And then you begin to explain, actually, I didn't mean it this way. No. That was not smart. That was not intelligent. That was not wise. Be careful. Be sensitive. If you're too angry to, you know, coordinate your words right, your tone, your language, then keep quiet and talk about it at a later time. But if you must talk about it, be careful that what you say and how you say it may become, in fact, a more aggravating issue than the original issue between the both of you. That's a vital lesson to take. And the other lesson I think we need to take is, you see, when you talk to your friends, when you talk to your family, the things you tell them about your spouse will come to haunt you one day. Now, let me post a caveat here. If you need to confide anything in your family or your friends for purposes of saving yourself, for safety purposes, don't hesitate to do that. But ensure that you are not exaggerating things. Ensure that you're saying the truth. Ensure that you're not being malicious. Those things are not contrived to just, hurt or defame your spouse. Whatever you say about your spouse, in fact, my Igbo people will say that the name you give your dog is the name it will bear. Whatever you call your spouse is what other people will begin to call him or her. So if you see in what the feud that has gone on between the both of them, their friends have even weighed in and are beginning to give their own accounts and opinion on the subject. if you listen to any of those voice notes, you will realize that these things were fed by the things they must have heard from either of this couple. What do you share with your friends and your family about your spouse? Those are the things that will haunt you one day. Those are the things that they will use to malign that person. Those are the things that, will become the narrative someday. So because you're hurt for a moment, because you're angry, and then you tell them how irresponsible, how he does not even contribute to anything in the home, how he's so lazy, how he has no regard for family values, or how she is so dirty, how she does not know how to keep the home, how she's the laziest and distasteful cook you have ever encountered. Come on. No. You don't do that. Be careful what you share about your spouse. It is what you've told your friends and what you've told your family that becomes their impression, that it becomes their branding, their perception of that person. Be careful. And please, in being careful, just as I had said, the next thing to bear in mind is that the things you say or do today can be used against you tomorrow, including the things you post on social media. When you come on social media at the slightest provocation and then call your spouse names, say all sorts of things about them, how unreasonable they are, how that may very well be used against you tomorrow. Just reading those chats, in the event that this situation between them, unfortunate as it is, ends up in court, there are facts that can be deduced from that viral conversation. I don't think it's something anybody wants to expose him or herself to. The things you say or do can make you culpable for a crime. It can mean that by the things you said or did, you have, evidence is found that can be used against you. You may also, by doing that, portray yourself in a manner that right-thinking people may not really want to deal with you. Because what it also means is that if you are in another kind of relationship, not necessarily marital, if things don't go quite right between you and that person, you may not exercise decorum in how you react. You may go to town with it. You may just go abroad and talk about it anywhere, everywhere, not remembering that sometimes the most bitter quarrels can be resolved. So, is it necessary to go broadcasting it across the nations? No, it doesn't show maturity. It doesn't show discipline. It doesn't show a sense of responsibility. When you have issues, as much as you can, trash them out privately. And even if you're not trashing them out privately, trash them out within responsible means and medium. Most of the things you share on social media, many people don't even care about you. They just pick on those things for their entertainment value. They use them as pastime. They just listen to them to, just to beat time before they get on to other things. And in the Nigerian language, they just catch cruise on top your matter. And I don't think that is right. Like I said, social media does not forget. It does not forget. Be careful, be careful, be careful of the things you say or do. And it's not just that social media will not forget. In situations where children are involved, these children will grow up tomorrow. You don't want anybody taunting them with the things their father did or their mother did on social media. It's unfair. Be considerate. If you're looking to seek employment someday, if you're looking to enter a business partnership with somebody someday, there are so many considerations why people may check you out on social media. Why people may just take a look at you. What are they going to say? Yes, I know that people don't mind. They say that negativity sells. So long as you go viral, so long as you gain followership, so long as, come on. There is more to life than the followers. Mad people on the streets have spectators. Is that the kind of spectator you want? You want to be, you want to gain attention, and any attention, every attention is welcome. Hell no, it shouldn't be. We shouldn't lose ourselves in the bid to seek attention. Attention is worthless if it's not the right kind of attention. Yes, I know that for those in the entertainment business, any and everything goes. But hey, there's life beyond that too. I never can tell. It may just be the reason why that one endorsement, that mega endorsement, will be reconsidered. Because it may become that they see that your values don't, align with the values of the brand that was seeking to endorse you. Social media doesn't forget. In the same wise, most people don't forget. And there's still the future. Your children. Consider them. Consider them. Don't make them butts of jokes. Don't make them, objects of caricature and ridicule tomorrow because of the things you say or do today. And then I think this last advice, being number 5, is for all of us, in the sense that when people come to you with their tales, with their complaints, with their pains, it is not every time that they seek you to pass judgment. No. Sometimes they just want to vent. Yeah. Sometimes they're also looking to sound someone out and maybe get advice on what they could have done differently or what they can do better. It is not every time they want you to condemn their spouse or beat up their spouse or make ridicule of. No. And if you don't know it already, that sometimes the things they discuss with you, they will take it back to their spouse after they have reconciled. Yes. They will use your inflammatory counsel, all those names that you called their spouse. They will tell their spouse later now, after the both of them reconcile, they will tell her, you don't even know that when I went to see A, because that time that I was not happy. There's nothing that woman, it's like that woman didn't even like you before. There's nothing she didn't say. I thought she was a good person, but yes, they discuss those things. Couples do. I'm a family lawyer. I've been at this for about 16 years, and I have seen clients who will come to you telling you they want their husband or their wife killed that day. Anything less is not satisfactory. And few months later, they're inviting you for baby naming. It is not every time a couple come to you or a spouse, somebody comes to you with a complaint that they're looking for you to wield a hammer. Wisdom is profitable to direct. Sometimes what they need is a balm. They need somebody who will help them heal. They need somebody who will speak life and truth to them. They need somebody who will calm their frayed nerves. They need somebody who will just, point them to another perspective different from the one they hold. And that is who you should be. Don't always be quick to call names and condemn and tear down. No! When they reconcile, they will not think you're a good person. Yes. They may think you were even speaking from a place of envy. And in any case, what does it benefit you to destroy what is not destroyed already? If there is a chance at helping that thing, mend, please, that's what you should. You should soothe their anger. You should soothe their pain. I'm not saying you should contrive excuses and lie, make up things. No. But even in telling them the truth, you can say that truth from a place of care, from a place of building up instead of tearing down. You can. So for all those people who just jump on every story and call names and please, the family institution is battered enough as it were. Let's not worsen it. Whatever we can do to help marriages heal and work and thrive, let's do it, because the ripple effect bounces off on the society, and the society belongs to all of us. I think this will be a good place to rest it. So for me, those are 5 lessons I think we need to take from that unfortunate feud between Harrysong and his wife. And I think that as much as is possible, the both of them need to reconsider the act of, it was wrong for that to have gone viral. I don't know if she's suffering abuse. Some of the language there seems to suggest that, but it may also be that we're just seeing a fraction of the image. We didn't see more than was shown. So it will also be hasty for anybody to jump to a conclusion. But I think that for the sake of their children and for the sake of whatever it is they share, because I don't think they were forced into that marriage. So there must be something about each other that they find enjoyable. There must be something they love about each other. For the sake of that, I think that shouldn't have made its way to social media. If there was need to get help, that help should have been gotten from a professional. That's my 2 pence on that. And as is usual on every episode of the Late Night Intercourse, we usually will take comments, questions, because it is an intercourse, which means that I talk to you, you talk to me. Yes, it is symbiotic. So I've been doing the talking, most of it. I know that some of you have dropped comments for me. Oh, my TikTok family, you guys are just the best. I see a lot of comments here. A lot of people joined, a lot of people trying to come on live with me. I love you all. Thank you for joining the conversation, and I look forward to having you on every episode of the Late Night Intercourse with Chioma. And can I see what we have on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram? If there are questions I need to respond to. If there are questions. Ha 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 ha. Okay. Ngo, good evening. How are you? Thank you, darling, for joining. Can I see the other platforms? Let's see what I need to respond to. Any questions or any comments I need to acknowledge? Can I see YouTube? Can I see can I see? I'm sorry. I see a lot of people on TikTok trying to come live with me. I don't know. I don't know. Do we have enough time to take one person? I wish I could see messages more. It's easier to respond to messages. It's easier to respond to messages than to, yeah. Is there any other thing I need to respond to? Oh, I can't see. It's easier to respond to messages. It's easier to respond to messages. My apologies. I'm trying to check the other platforms. Trying to check. Okay, I don't see Christians. I only see the people joined us, but I don't see Christians. So I guess that means we don't have any questions that I need to respond to. Well, I think it's okay to wrap it up here. Like I said, those are the 5 lessons I took note of. Of course, there are more, but if we pay attention to those 5, at least that's something. I wish someone else had shared any other lesson they observed. I wish that happened, but it's okay. So this will be a good place to call it a wrap tonight. And as always, thank you for joining us, and I'm looking forward to having you join us in the next episode of the Late Night Intercourse with Choma every Thursday at